r/AskReddit. Japanese people of Reddit. What are some things people should know to do and not do before visiting Japan? I saw some white dude at Shibuya Crossing flaunting his headband with kamikaze written on it. Yeah. That. Always ask what the kanji means before buying stuff with kanji on it. My Japanese teacher had a list of the worst kanji tattoos she'd ever seen. It was pretty hilarious. She said she stopped saying anything to people because either they'd become very upset or try to weirdly double down and act like she was the one who didn't know what it meant. The way to ask them is, "Oh cool tattoo, what does it mean?" Sometimes they know exactly what they are getting into and be like, "Oh yeah, it means chicken noodles." I'm Japanese and welcome everyone to visit. Don't be scared, we are now trying to be more tourist friendly. The big mistake I see foreign make. A. Disrupt order. We Japanese like lines and quiet. If everyone follow this system it works better. B. Forget turn off your cell phone ring/notify. C. Wear light clothes than you think. Sometimes even if temperature is okay, humidity is really bad. The big advice I have. A. Bring small gift from your country. It will always start conversation. Can be very cheap, but good Japanese way to start. B. Try a small local or family restaurant instead of business restaurant. Ask for their recommendation. Make them happy. You'll enjoy it more than your next McDonald's. Edit. Sorry I fall asleep. Did not think this post be very popular. Will try to reply. Sorry for late. I love your response. Thank you. Thank you for saying. Not Japanese but went there a few years back and got a few tips from a family friend who was born and raised in Tokyo. There are a lot of vending machines. You are expected to consume whatever you buy and dispose of the can/bag in the same place. Usually a small trash can for that purpose. Seats are damn hard to find at the busy spots. Most restaurants have either picture menus or little plastic versions of the food, so ordering is easy. If you eat at a place with a chef, sushi, yakitori, etc., compliment the chef. Some don't have set prices, so lavish praise may lower your bill, and it is just plain fun. When looking for sushi near the fish market, just look for the place with the line out the door. Doesn't matter which one, but the one with the line of locals is going to be the best. A few observations from being there. Seats are rare to find. If you need to sit for a few minutes, look for an American fast food chain. You can get a drink, clear your head, and sit for a few minutes. People are amazing. We had one guy cross 6 lanes of traffic to help direct us to the Tokyo Museum. We had another get off a train and walk us through the right connections to get us to the bullet train we booked to Kyoto. As in, he rode 20 or 30 minutes out of his way just to make sure we got there. Old people are grumpy as hell. They were like Florida retirees whose favorite buffet closed down. The contrast with everyone else being so very nice made this particularly entertaining. Ask before taking people's pictures. This is true everywhere, but people seemed particularly sensitive to this in Tokyo and Kyoto. You can just hold up the camera and smile and ask the question with facial expressions. No need to learn the Japanese phrase. Almost everyone was fine with it, but a few refused. Don't take anything too seriously. Set out every day to get lost, to embarrass yourself with a local, to buy something silly, and to eat something of unknown origin. You will have much better stories/memories that way. There are a lot of vending machines. This is what really surprised me when we went. The vending machines are literally everywhere. We went up a shrine path to the top of a mountain that was so long we saw the rest of the trip. And the entire way along the path there were vending machines. And they have the option for heated drinks for when it gets cold or you just want a warm drink. Warm royal milk tea is literally the greatest thing ever. Also, I'm a super picky eater, but I ate everything that came my way in Japan. By far some of the best food I've ever had. Even this weird jelly with beans and shrimp in it. Dunno. Ate at a ryokan and had no idea what 50% of the food even was while consuming it. But gosh darn was it good. We went up a shrine path to the top of a mountain that was so long we saw the rest of the trip. And the entire way along the path there were vending machines. And for those wondering, yes, the prices do get higher the closer you get to the top. At least that was the case at the Fushimi Inari Shrine in Kyoto. Obligatory not Japanese. Lived here for the majority of my life. However, if there's one thing to do in Japan, just be quiet. Pretend you're in a museum. You don't have to yell on the train. It also helps to have situational awareness. If you can avoid blocking the street/aisle, you're already doing better than 90% of tourists and Japanese combined. Don't touch everything in shops, especially grocery stores. If you rent a bicycle or something, don't be an idiot on it. I don't recommend renting a bike if you're not from a bike-friendly place. Before you do something, ask yourself, would a mainland Chinese tourist or Logan Paul do this? If the answer is yes, don't do it. That last one is good advice for day-to-day life. It is most certainly not every day, bro. Everyone was very nice and plenty of folks speak English. But I always felt like people warmed up even more because I took the time to learn literally 10 words of Japanese. A little effort goes a long way. Hello. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Where is? Check please. 1 through 10. Etc. Also, I saved a ton of money by eating breakfasts at 7-Eleven. A little effort goes a long way. Hello. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Where is? Check please. 1 through 10. Etc. This is true for traveling basically anywhere. Know the basics of the local language. Even if they speak English, you will be treated with much more respect and make local friends and connections quickly with just a passing vocabulary of a dozen travel words. Does not apply to Denmark. Unless it's a social event. Most Japanese keep to themselves out of respect for others and don't litter. So true. People don't talk to strangers unless they have to. I live in Tokyo, and if someone tries to get my attention, it is one of 3 things. 1. They are trying to sell me something. 2. Nunpa, asking strangers out. 3. They are asking for directions. Smiling at strangers is very odd here, and it will make you look suspicious. I want to see a show where you take the sweetest smiling Midwesterner and threw them into Tokyo. Sumimasen. Learn that word. Start every single sentence with it. It means sorry/excuse me. Use it when asking for directions. As another way to say thank you. When entering a new place. If there is one word you need to learn, it's sumimasen. Today I learned that Japan is Asia's Canada. Not necessarily only Japan. In Asian countries, it's very normal to start with an apology and end with an apologetic way. I'm Chinese, so I can give you an example where, if you were to ask for something, you would start with Buheo Yisi. Mafan Ni. Zizi. It roughly translates to sorry to bother you. Comma. Thank you. You could also skip the Mafan Ni part. But generally you don't, because it's more polite that way. Usually you only skip it when you're friends with someone, but not to a casual point yet. And that's just Mandarin Chinese. There's Cantonese, Hokkien, etc. that also shares the same apologetic nature that I won't get into. Fun fact, the Japanese kanji characters are actually borrowed from the Chinese. So don't be confused that I was typing kanji, haha. They often mean the same thing, but have a different pronunciation. An example I can give you is ren. In Japanese it's read as jin. In Chinese it's read as ren. But ultimately it just means man/people. If you're half Japanese like me and used to live here when you were little or Nikoi or whatever, be prepared for an identity crisis, as foreigners will assume you're a local. Locals will assume you're a foreigner. And you yourself aren't sure which one you are or which one you'd like to be seen as. You are a Stark and you are a Greyjoy, the king of EA North. Bring or buy a blank notebook. There are plenty of souvenir stamps at attractions/train stations to collect, usually near the exit. It's great fun and lovely memento to have. Google Stamp Rally for more info. Stamp Rally. Most stations have their unique stamp design. Edit, if you're really serious. Bring your own ink stamp pad, black or blue, since some stations' ink pads dry out due to people not putting the cover back on after use. White person living in Kyoto, etc. Please don't take pictures of the Mako without permission. You can always ask Shashin-Kula-say, if they don't seem to be in a hurry. Please don't bother the Mako when they are in a hurry. Please don't grab the Mako. There was a disappointing rash of this in the last few years. One poor girl had her kimono torn. Meiko are usually very young women. And it's appalling what some people will do. Meiko are a type of geisha. And can be seen in Japan. They are usually apprentices. Lot of people don't realize. Their kimono cost as much as a small car. And they have to buy a lot of them. Second-hand kimono are cheap, but brand new ones sink wallets. And for good reason. I'd be very pissed off if I spent all that money on a hand-painted, hand-dyed and hand-embroidered full silk outfit. Only for someone to tear the sleeve or spill something on it. They're artists. Probably on the way to a lesson or party. And if you've stopped and had a chat with a Meiko, likely she's just someone in dress-up, henshin, which is an activity you can pay for. Actually, I remember a place called Studio Shiki in Kyoto being said to be the best at this. If you want somewhere less touristy than Japan, there's Pontocho and Kamisha Chicken, where geisha also live and work. But they're quieter. All three areas put on dances annually which you can go and see. The Japan Adori is pretty similar year after year, but the others change around. Pontocho's style of dance is more linked to kabuki than Japan's, which is seen as more traditional. Not 100% Japanese, but 25% Japanese blah blah, but living in Japan. There will be some people who will compliment on your chopstick using ability and be like sugoi northeast. Hashi wa jiaozu desu northeast. Wow, you're good at using chopsticks. Don't get offended if you hear this. Even if you've been using chopsticks ever since you were a 0-year child. Some/a little Japanese people have never seen a foreigner person ever seen a Japanese person use chopsticks. Instead of getting offended at that statement, use it as a starting point. Start a conversation to bridge a gap formed from ignorance and develop a relationship. You might create a friend and a karaoke partner, or just compliment them back on their fork skills. Your fruit killing skills are remarkable. Almost every English speaking foreigner who lives in Japan permanently will think they are better than you, and every small thing about Japan that you enjoy they will hate because they've seen it already. It kind of sounds like there's a story here. Well, I live there and that's what I see. Heads up. They do pixelate your genitals at Narita Airport. So get one last good look at them while you are on the plane. Can confirm. Currently pixelated. Fortunately it obscures the size. If you end up in one of the clubs in Roppongi, go with people you trust. There's a high chance someone might spike your drink. Elaborate. Some clubs/bars in the Roppongi area hire touts to get foreigners into their premises. The touts are usually of African descent. There had been many cases where the foreigners' drinks get spiked and they will be dazed or even pass out. These people are robbed or even actually assaulted when in that state. I think the US Embassy posted a warning on its website a couple of years back. Heck, there's even a sign of caution in the Roppongi metro station to warn patrons of such activity. This is going to sound very strange, and I'm not sure if you're a uterus owner or not, but bring enough tampon/pad/whatever and cramp medication. If you take birth control, get extras from your doctor. It's really hard to find tampons in some foreign countries. And if you don't know the language, you might not know where they're stored. Also, pain meds are usually lower strength. Have fun. Edit. No, I'm not a TERF. I just said uterus owner because it sounds funny to me. I have personal experience on this matter. Went to foreign country and had to borrow from my fellow travelers, which sucked. Also, I personally noticed the meds were low strength. I was designated female as birth and still live as that gender. No, I'm not a dipshit. I bought a Diva cup on my trip. That changed everything for me. The videos are also super handy. If you're going to Tokyo, then learn about the rail lines in advance. There are 2 main rail companies and you can get to some destinations in several ways. In addition to that, make sure you check what time the train leaves from the airport. Last time I was in Japan, I rushed from customs to the luggage pickup and then rushed to the Narita Express and just got there in time, saving an hour wait. The last thing you want after a long trip is to wait an hour for a train that takes another hour to get to Tokyo. There's actually 14 different train operators in Tokyo alone, including Junior and the 2 subways, Tokyo Metro and Toei. Thing is, it's unlikely you ride all of them, as some just head for the outskirts. However, you may end up riding the train of one operator on the line of another due to interoperability stuff. For instance, a Tobu train on Tokyo Metro's Hibiya line. Of course, if you have a Suka/Pasmo, then all of this is moot. Edit. Realized I hadn't included Kyo nor the monorail and Yurikamo plus 2 others. Ducking like and subscribe.